So in today's video, we're going to look at how to create a unique sorted list from multiple columns, whether they're next to each other, like in this data set, or if you have data separating, whether it's one or multiple columns in between. We're going to walk through both scenarios today. So this one's pretty easy. We can use a formula called flatten to take data from multiple columns and put it into a single column. So just like that. Now we have William here. You can see we have extra Williams here. So we scroll down, you can see here are those duplicates. So let's go ahead and fix the duplicates real quick. And we'll use unique and put that around flatten with parentheses. And if we scroll down, now those are gone. So all that remains is sorting this. So now we can put sort around both. And now it's sorted in alphabetical order with no duplicates. Now, if we go to data where you have columns in between the data like this, if we try to use flatten again, what's going to happen is it's going to include the numbers. And so now we kind of have an issue. So we need a more resilient solution. So what we're going to do is a array literal. So it's these curly braces. So I'm going to open one, the left side, and then I can just select these columns. And then I can select this one. And I'm doing a semicolon between each one. And go like this and like this. And then I can close it, hit enter. And you can see very similar to our flatten, that is now just taking those and putting them together. So now we can do the same thing that we did before. We can do unique, just like that. And then we can do sort. And there we go. There's our list. Looks like we're missing a couple rows here in our highlighting. So there we go. So there's our full list. And we had 26, I had in my sample here. And then if we want to leave room for if more data is added later, all we have to do is come in here and remove these and references. Now I will show you one thing here. So if we hit enter, this all looks the same. But if I add something here, put time, you can see we have an error. And so I wanted to explain this because if you don't understand what's happening, then you may result in some weird things like this. So if we move this down one, you can see we don't have an error. And so what's happening is we have this blank space. And so when it's taking the entire column, it's seeing all these blank spaces. Now, when we do the unique, it's combining those into one blank space. So it depends upon what you need. If you don't care about having a blank one here, then you can leave it as is. But if you're in constraints where you need to be able to put something here, then basically what you'd have to do is either a query around this. And so we could just do query and just say select all where column 1 is not null and close that out. And then now if we come down here, we can put time and nothing happens because that blank is now removed. And so the only issue with something like this is if we change this to R, E, and G, and I'll just do that for the second. And so we just have numbers now. Now, if I add text here like the, and we scroll down, the is not showing up. And so the only issue is query changes the column setting. And so it basically determines, is this text, is it numbers, is it whatever. And so because it found a bunch of numbers and one word, it's going to strip out that word. And so if that is an issue, actually I'll just leave it there. Then what you need to do is change this from a query, and we'll get rid of this here. And then what we need to do instead is put a filter inside, something like this. And now, if we scroll down, there's our the. So this is probably a fringe case, but I just want to show you in case you're having issues and trying to figure out what's going on, then that is what's happening. All right, so that's it for today's video on how to create a unique sorted list from multiple columns. Make sure to check out the other videos on our channel for more tutorials on both Google Sheets and AppScript. And as always, have a great day.